How's it going, fam? It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and tonight we are going to sharpen M4 from Spyderco. This is the Sage 5 lightweight. It is made in Taiwan. I beat the crap out of it at work today at the farm, and it definitely needs a new edge. It has its factory edge still, for the most part, like the factory edge pattern, which tonight I want to get rid of. And yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys along for that freehand sharpening ride. So I'm gonna lower you guys down. We're gonna go through this entire progression, no edits, and see if we can get this back to working condition. So let me lower you guys down. Bear with me here. Okay, sorry about the dirty dishes. Those are kind of an eyesore, aren't they? You guys can see that, right? Okay, so Taiwan M4. Here we have a Shapton glass stone. This is a 120 grit ceramic stone. And I have applied some water to it because it's a splash and go stone. It's in a holder here from sharpeningsupplies.com. This was $19.95 when I ordered it, maybe 5 months ago. I'm not sure how much they cost now, but it basically has rubber bottoms and it keeps your sharpening stone in place. This has also been fully flattened, ready to go. So yeah, let's start with taking off whatever is left of that edge. I want to completely kind of like crush this apex. That way we build up a new edge and a new apex. Everything is fresh and clean. So I'm literally just gonna, on the very side of the stone, just kind of dull it up right there. Let's see. Yeah, so it won't even cut paper. As you can tell, we have completely crushed that. That's literally just a rip. It can't even catch paper. So we're completely 100% dull. All right, let's get to sharpening. So we'll sharpen one side and build up a burr. And to hold our angle, we just want to keep our hand kind of locked. We'll be raising our elbow, not our wrist, as we get to the edge, or the tip, I should say. And right now, my main goal is to remove the factory bevel pattern here. I really want to get to that fresh, clean steel underneath. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did create a little tiny sharpening choil in there. I hope you can see it. Right in here. Just the tiniest little choil. I just took a Dremel cutting wheel and nicked right in there. That way I can get to that full area, that full edge area. I want to be able to access that, and I can't without the choil there. You guys can see that, right? Maybe if I move you like that, that might help. So every once in a while, I just want to check my edge. This is a very coarse stone. It's, I think, the coarsest one in this series. So right now I'm just going to wipe off my edge, and I want to see if I have removed that factory scratch pattern. And I definitely have, except for right here, so I'm just going to hyper focus on that area for a few swipes. And you can see that we're building up a kind of grayish slurry on here, which those are metal particles. That is a good sign. That means that we are removing material. That's exactly what we want. That means that this stone is harder than this steel, and it is removing the metal, or the steel, I should say. Take another look. It's looking better, but I still feel like I want to even it out just a little bit more. All right, that looks pretty good. So, I have removed the factory scratch pattern. Now I really want to focus on actually building up a burr. So, here's what I'm going to, again, lock my wrist, and we're just going to sweep back and forth the full length of the blade and build up an actual burr that we can knock off on the other side. Wow. Whew. That is a crispy burr. I don't think the camera will pick it up because the lighting in here is terrible. I'm trying to figure out how I would even catch that. Can you guys hear that maybe? Very strong burr. That's great. So now we're gonna flip it over. I'm actually gonna just rinse off my stone real quick because we built up quite a bit of residue there. Make sure you only use cold water on your stones. That way you don't damage them. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to gently pass the knife the opposite way a few times to knock off that burr without breaking it off. I don't want to just start drilling in on this side because I don't want to break that burr off. I want to gently remove it. So we're just going to very carefully knock that off a little bit. Nice. Now we're going to remove the factory scratch pattern from this side. So we're going to do that same thing, that sweeping motion, kind of erasing what Spyderco gave me. Not that it was bad, but I want to create my full own edge. So we're going to erase the factory edge bevel. And because you have this little nubbin right here, that's why at some point I will have to kind of change my position here to access the heel area. Right now, I'm kind of getting the rest of the knife, so I have it angled So I'll work on this first, and then I'll just focus on that heel area that's not getting as much contact right now. Oh, that's looking great. So yeah, all through here is nice and removed. Now I'm going to focus on that inner heel, kind of like before. So really letting the blade have most of the stone in this area. I'm really allowing it to be a hog right now, and it's just getting all of the stone that it needs. See how it looks now? Looking good. I just need to get one last little area right in there, so I'll focus on that for a few swipes. Alright. There's still one tiny little spot that I'm just not fully happy with. Right in that heel. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. Let me rinse this off again real quick. Now we're going to even the whole thing out, just like last time. I'm going to even out the whole scratch pattern and then build up a burr. So I'm just going to even this out real quick. I may have to go yell at my dog. Okay, so it looks even now. Now I'm going to build up a burr. I really have one on most of it, but right here I just want a little bit more. So I'm gonna just do a few passes and really build that up nice and strong. Man, this burrs up like crazy, guys. This M4 is nice. I still don't have what I want down here, though. Going to focus on that area real quick, and then we'll just even back out again. It's totally fine to play the game of evening everything out. That's feeling better. Okay. All right, let's clean this off and then we'll do a few back and forth passes and move on to the next stone. All right, so I want to gently knock that burr off again. We just don't want to break it off. We don't want to be too rough and break it and kind of like mess up all of our progress here. We just want to gently remove it. All right. Let's do some back and forth passes. All right, I'm gonna look and feel. I wanna make sure that there are no spots that we missed. I wanna make sure we didn't convex. I wanna make sure that we don't have any burr left over on one side. It actually feels really good and really even right now. Maybe just a hair of something right there. So just very lightly knock that off. I'm using my fingertips because they're sensitive, so it'll feel that wire burr if there is one. I think we're good to move on to the next step. So I'll give this a quick rinse. And then we're gonna move on to a 325 grit DMT diamond stone. This is another splash and go stone. It likes to be soaked for approximately like 30 seconds with some water, so I'll just let that kind of sit on there while we get this set up for the diamond stones. They're much shorter, so I gotta readjust this little holder thing. Take that out, let this air dry after we pat it dry with a towel. And let's get this bad boy in here. Now this one I have recommended to many people. These diamond stones are fabulous for these hard tool steels. They move the steel very quickly and efficiently. Alright, so that's secured in there. Just gonna flip it around so those little legs aren't poking me. Let's see just for the heck of it, if that first sharpening did anything. It's only a 120 grit edge, so that is like extremely rough, but let's see if it did anything at all for this. It's definitely rough, but it is cutting. Okay, so see, we already have progress, and that's just on a 120 grit. You can hear that's a little rough, but it is cutting, right? So that's already huge progress from being driven into a sharpening stone and dulled to absolute shit. We're gonna do the same exact thing all over again, starting with this side. I love how crisp the edges are on these DMT stones. I just feel like you're really able to access every bit of this edge bevel. Oh, we're sliding a little bit. Let me just dry this real quick. Do not want to slide. All right. There we go, that's better. And we already have a huge burr, especially right up in here. Let's try to just even that out a hair. And the belly of the knife really seems to build up the fastest, I've noticed. The kind of belly and the tip, that can happen sometimes. I'm going to just look at my pattern as well, make sure we're continuing to kind of refine that and dial that in. It's looking good. I'm seeing that there's just a hair of a convex right in here, so I want to fix that now before it's too late, basically. I just want to get that nice and flat. And these stones move the steel so quickly, you can very easily fix those types of things. You do not have to be nervous if you mildly convex your edge. That is no big deal. That is looking good. All right. Wow, that burr is insane. We're definitely gonna flip over. Just check this, make sure nothing important came through. Good. All right, let's knock that off very gently. All right, time to build up on the other side. I'm gonna add just a little bit of fresh water. All right, let's get going on this side. And the reason I'm not going to edit this at all is because, number one, I don't have any way to do that. I don't own a computer. Number two, I really want you guys to see the real life thing and how long this actually takes when you are freehand sharpening and taking your time and learning as you go, etc., etc. I just want to be real, so that's why we're not editing, and I understand that it can be boring at times, and I apologize. All right, this is looking great, per usual. Just want to focus right there, a hair. So I'll do a few more. These bad Larrys. That looks great. Got a crazy crispy burr built up. Let's knock that off super quick and go back and forth. I'm literally not applying any pressure. Just letting the stone knock it off. We don't want to break anything off. We don't want to break it. Okay, let's do a few back and forth. Do one more pass per side. All right, let's look and feel. That's always the most important thing. We want to be looking with our eyes and feeling with our fingers. We want to use both. Everything looks very clean. Just feel, make sure nothing's hanging out there. Feel right down here. I've got a little something, so I just want to gently kind of knock that off. Okay. Even just those two swipes just gave us a little something on the other side, so we're just gonna very gently get that off. I believe this is called chasing the burr. Sometimes this just happens. Alright, I think we'll be good after this last swipe. Alright, let's see where we're at now. I need a new piece of paper. Let me grab a new one, sorry. And this is telephone paper, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Ooh, might have one little something there. Okay. We have one little hang up right there that's catching the paper. But aside from that, even the 325 is very good. There's just one, I think that's like a little piece of a burr stuck right there. Because the rest of it is good. Let me try to knock that off real quick before we move on. We don't wanna skimp out here. Oh, yep, I feel it. It's like literally right there. Yeah, all right. Nice. Let's move on to the 600, and that's gonna be our final stone, and then we're gonna strop. This is gonna be a long video, but it's also real life. You gotta take your time with this stuff. All of this stuff I was able to purchase at sharpeningsupplies.com, by the way. They have really great prices. They ship out super fast. Great stuff. Tons of different options. They have DMT, they have Japanese whetstones, they've got splash and go, they've got ceramic. They've got Veneve. All types of good stuff. All right. Last stone before we strop. Let me just let that soak for 2 seconds and get a few more pieces of paper set up for when we're ready. All right. Let's fucking send it. And you guys might even be able to hear the difference with the stone. This is a much finer stone. It leaves a great working edge, like a nice toothy edge, but definitely way more refined than the 325. I don't know why my dogs are losing their minds, but they are. Give me a second. Sorry about that. They were just playing, but a little loud. Oh my lord. I might have to bring him in. Somebody said down in the comments that their dog likes to listen to my dogs barking. Like they play my videos and their little chihuahua or something likes to bark back at my dogs, which I think is really funny. Alright, let's look at this. Ooh, that looks good. Man, these stones do such a nice job of cleaning everything up. They're really nice. And these are like the actual DMT brand. They're just all around great stones, guys. It's actually like polishing up this M4 a little bit. Which is pretty crazy. Got a wild burr too. I think I'm gonna knock that off and go to the other side. This also has a lot of residue again, so I'll just rinse it. I just always want to be working with like a nice clean surface. All right, other side. Wow, 33 minutes, yikes. Sorry guys. It's not too bad though for M4. M4 that literally was completely crushed. Man, this edge looks beauteous. And I can tell this M4 is nice because it's just moving so effortlessly on this stone. It's really not giving me a hard time, and I know this is taking a while, but that's just kind of what happens when you're trying to erase a factory edge. Like, sometimes it just takes a little bit of time and patience, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally down for that, to have a nice, hard, good heat treat on a nice working steel. Alright, just gonna do a few passes focusing down by that heel per usual. And you might notice I'm almost like locking my wrist and then rocking my body. That's actually more comfortable for me, so that I don't move my wrist around and stuff. Like, wow, that's great. Yeah, for me it's just much easier to like almost move my arms as a whole, or like even my body. So that's why I'm like rocking. It just keeps the knife more stable for me. But I probably look like a lunatic. Alright, so I'm just knocking that burr off gently, and then we're going to go back and forth. That burr does not want to knock off for some reason this time. Not as quickly. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, here we go. Let me know down in the comments if you freehand sharpen or if you use a guided system. What type of stones are your favorite? What grit you usually use? What your favorite steel to sharpen is? Any of the above? Let me know. I'm curious. My favorite to sharpen is LC200N, hands down. It's just so nice. It's so freaking easy to sharpen. But I like sharpening all steels. None of them really give me too much trouble. You just have to have the right stones. That's really what does it. Alright, let's see how this feels. Feels good. Might have just a hair of something down there that might snag on the paper. But let's see. Let me rinse this off. Let's see what we're at right now. We do still have a strop to use. All right, 600 Grit Dmt. Come here, little buddy. There we go. likes to get caught right there. And I was having trouble with that heel the whole time, but I think there's just a little something there, just like I suspected, a little something that keeps getting hung up. The rest seems good. Yeah, just that one little trouble spot, and that was giving me trouble the whole time, which is common. Sometimes those bevels are just a little uneven and it just takes a few sharpenings to get them figured out. But as long as this thing is cutting, which it is, I'm happy. Like, that is not bad at all. It's just that one little hang up right at the beginning, right in there, that keeps getting snagged. The rest is beautiful. Oops. Yeah, right there, man. The rest is scary. Let's see if it does the little hair test. Ow. Okay, yeah, it definitely does. Yeah, definitely pops hairs. Yikes. Let's see if we can get those on camera. Can you see my little hairball? A little dusty hairball? Hopefully you guys saw that. Okay, let's strop and try to refine that a little bit. I'm not worried about that one area right here that's just being a little bit troublesome. It's snagging. Yeah, it just has a little bit of a burr, but I might actually be able to knock that off with the strap. I think it's just that burr is wobbling right there for some reason. And here's the thing, as long as my knife is cutting very well, I really don't care if there's like a little tiny hang up or something. Like, I beat the shit out of my knives. As long as it's sharp, we're good to go. And that I can work out another day. I can work that out as I use it. Sometimes those edge bevels just come from the factory a little wonky, and it just takes a little bit of time to even that out. Totally fine with me, but I understand if it's a nuisance for other people. You can just pay more attention to that area if it bothers you. All right, so we have this JRE Industries strop pad. It has 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, and raw leather. So we're going to start with the black side. I'm just going to do 10 passes on one side, and then we're going to work our way down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I don't think I'm going to take this much higher than that, just because I really like the M4 to have like a working edge, so I don't really want to go. I don't think I'm going to bring it up to 7,000 per se. I think I want to leave it at 3 and then maybe just a few passes on this raw leather. That way it really keeps its bite. But this might help knock that like little troublesome area off a little bit. Now we're going to flip into this side. And with a strop, you always want to work away from yourself. You do not want to cut into your strop. Always work away. I didn't really keep track, but that was probably approximately 10. All right, let's do 5 on this side. And this strop did come preloaded with the compound, which is really cool. And I haven't had to reload it yet, and I've had this for as long as all of the sharpening stones and stuff actually, so like at least 5 months. I kind of got everything all at the same time. All right, we're just kind of dialing in here. Now we're going to do just a few back and forth. And then I want to do just a few trailing passes, which is when we actually start at the tip, just very gently kind of do that little deal. All right, let's see how that feels, looks, smells, tastes. All right, I don't feel anything that I don't want to feel. That's good. Feels very, very, very sharp. Okay, good. Let's just do a few passes on the raw leather here. And you can totally use the rest of those compounds if you want. I just really want to have like a nice grabby, toothy edge, so I really don't want to go higher than 3,000. That's already like decently high for my liking. Do a couple little trail boys here. All right, let's see what it looks like now. Just need more paper. All right, here goes nothing. Well, I would say that's decent. Right? Go straight down. Oh, come on. Go back. There we go. I think that's plenty sharp. Let me just do one more thing. I want to see if we worked out that little heel kink. I think we did. Yeah, so the strop must have kind of knocked off whatever was lingering right there, and that can happen. Sometimes the stone, even at 600 grit, is just too hard, and it will literally just wobble that burr back and forth, and sometimes it's just like that little tiny wired micro bevel right there, or tiny micro burr right there, that can just stay there and wobble around for a while, and the leather is soft enough to kind of just like send it on its way to no man's land. So I think that's what happened, because now we're not having that hang up anymore. It's very smooth all the way through. That's really nice. Okay. Beautiful. I like that we can go straight down too. Okay, so there's a freehand sharpen on Spyderco Taiwanese M4. It's fantastic stuff. Really nice to work with. The burr can wobble just a little bit, so you need a strop to kind of knock that off, as you saw. Let's raise this up just a hair so I can say goodbye to you guys. Do that. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to learn something from this. I really want to make more sharpening videos. I think they're super important. I don't think people use their knives on the sole basis that they don't know how to take care of it after, and they don't want to send it off to get sharpened. A lot of companies offer free sharpening, but it's a bummer when you have to send your knife out and wait for it to come back, which can be a month, 2 months sometimes. And I think that people would use their knives more if they knew how to actually take care of them. So I'm really trying to advocate for learning how to sharpen, whether it's on a guided system or freehand. I want you guys to understand that you can do it, you can teach yourself, and also it does not have to be perfect the whole way through. We were fighting that heel burr that was flip-flopping back and forth for almost that entire progression until we hit the strop. We didn't give up and we didn't get frustrated and we didn't, go calling the police. Sometimes it just needs a little more gentle approach, like the strop at the end. But as you can see, nice beautiful edge, nice and even, that bevel nice and even all the way through, as you can see, cutting through telephone paper like butter, no hang-ups, absolutely beautiful sharpening experience. I can fully recommend Spyderco M4 from Taiwan. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, go use your shit, learn how to sharpen your knives. I will see you on the next video. Love you all.